Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to discuss the moral stages of development by Lawrence Kohlberg. So it is important that educators we need to understand morality, our sense of right and wrong. Lawrence Kohlberg believed that our moral reasoning is that it is just as important as intellectual growth, no, because it shapes our choices, relationships, and actions no, in the society. So, to illustrate these moral dilemmas, now let's look at Kohlberg's famous Heinz theory. Let's imagine the situation. Heinz's wife is dying of a rare disease, and there's only one drug that can save her life. However, the pharmacist sells it a very high price, 10 times what it costs to make. So Heinz cannot afford it, so he considers stealing the medicine to save his wife. So the moral question is, should Heinz steal the drug or respect the law and let his wife die? Um, we reflect, what shall we do? No, if you were Heinz, if you were in Heinz situation, what would you do? No, do you save your wife or obey the law, and why? So, as you reflect, there are possible answers of the given problem, as presented here on the screen. Not six possible responses. They could even more. So just to look at these six possible responses. First, no, Heinz should not steal the drug because he will go to jail. Or it could be another answer. Yes, Heinz should steal the drug, not because his wife will reward him or no, he'll be happy. Third, yes, because a good husband must care for his wife. Fourth, no, stealing is wrong because it breaks the law. Fifth, we have here yes, because human life is more important than property or law. Then six, we have here Heinz should act according to his conscience, even if it means facing punishment, because saving a life upholds the highest moral principle. So, whatever your answer is to the Heinz dilemma reflects a particular stage of moral development. Each response reveals how we reason about right and wrong based on our values, experiences, no, and sense of justice. So, to understand this more clearly, let's move on to the next slide and explore Kohlberg's six stages of moral development. So here we'll see how moral reasoning evolves from simple obedience to universal ethical principle. So Kohlberg grouped these six stages into three levels of moral development. So, for you to easily remember these three levels and each level of moral stages, each stage, of moral development consists of two sub stages, which make it no six um, substages all in all. Again, two substages in each of the levels. So as presented here on the screen, we have here level 1, the pre-conventional morality consists of two substages. We have here no punishment versus obedience, and the sub-stage 2, we have here rewards. When we say rewards, in other authors, um, it's about hedonism. When we say hedonism, pleasure. So that's stage 2. Then level 2, we have here conventional morality. Again, consists of two sub-stages. We have here good boy, good girl. And we also have here epitome of law and order. Then level 3, we have here the post-conventional morality consists of two substages. We have here social contract and universal principle. So for you to easily remember, we have here mnemonic device, no? ONG ESP. It's very useful, especially in taking the board examination, for you not to interchange the sub stages. Have this acronym ONG ESP. You just have to remember this acronym, after which each letter corresponds a certain sub stage, and it's easier for you just to divide because stages consist of one level. No, that's why here there are six, because there are three levels, two in each of the stage. So first substage, obedience versus punishment. No, it's under pre-conventional level stage. No, in which in the level one, the concept of morality here is controlled. No, when we say controlled, the concept of morality here is guided na by authority figures. A child behaves well only because they'll get a reward. It could be in school, no? Toddlers, young children will perform their activity task in school because they will know that they'll get a star, they'll get a candy, or they will receive verbal affirmation from teachers. That sense of reward will motivate young children to do as instructed, to do what is right, because they are driven by rewards, and they tend not to do things that are said to be not good or said to be bad by authority figures. When we say authority figures, they are the parents, the teachers, or elders. No, in this level one pre-conventional stage, young children really do not personally understand and appreciate the very essence of right and wrong. They just follow, they obey because they want to avoid punishment. And they tend to do good, to do desirable actions because they want to get rewards. That is according to Lawrence Kohlberg. Okay, so stage one is about obedience, no, to avoid punishment. That's the concept of morality for young children. In stage two is all about being rewarded of the things that they do. That's why for preschool teachers, especially also in the elementary grades, no, we have a lot of strategies to give rewards, not just candies, not just chocolates, or any material or tangible things. Verbal affirmations also matter because in this level of morality, kids not tend to follow because it is what the authority figures tell them to do, and they want to get rewards rather than being punished. In the level 2 conventional stages here, there are two sub stages again. We have here good boy, good girl. When we say good boy, good girl, the stage, sub stage 3, in which morality is based on social approval. When we say social approval, conformity, and maintaining order. Example here, adolescents follow school policies because it is the right thing that everyone expects them to do. Okay, for the good boy, good girl substage, it's all about we will behave. We tend to do things because we want to appear good to others. Or we know that someone supervises us, monitors us. Therefore, we will behave, act accordingly of what we believe is right because we want to appear good. That's why Lawrence Kohlberg termed it as good boy, good girl. No, it's all about conforming. No, we seek social approval. That's why in basic education, because this good boy, good girl is very prominent, no, in terms of morality, the supervision of teachers are very important because bullying most likely to occur when no one supervises the class. But if there is the presence of an adult, especially the teacher, bullying is somehow limited. It's because these students will behave accordingly because they know someone is there monitoring them and they want to project, no, that they are good. So that's the good boy, good girl. No, we behave in ways to conform the social expectation of what is considered as good. While in the substage 4, still in level 2 stage of morality, we have here epitome of law and order, meaning no, we obey to authority because during the stage we have the high regard, no, giving much importance of our duty, our responsibility as an adult, as a student, for example. um, we know that it is our responsibility to follow the classroom rules. So therefore, whether you like it or not, you just follow because you want to maintain order. No, you want to conform what is set, no, by the teacher as the guiding social guiding behavior in the classroom. No, because again, it's about obedience with the authority. Now we have here the third post-conventional level stage. No, two sub-stages again, the SP. First, we have here the social contract. Then P, the universal principle. Okay. In stage 5, we have here, no, during the sub-stage 5, an individual already appreciate, no, the difference between what is moral and what is legally right. Okay? There is a recognition that rules should sometimes be broken. Just like the very concept of we can bend the law, no, by Tulfo. If you are in the substage 5, according to Kohlberg, no, it's all about looking at the welfare of not just the few, but with the majority. That's why in here, we are reflecting. For example, in your class, you personally know that your teacher scheduled a quiz on that day. All of you are aware that there is a scheduled quiz. But to some extent, many of your classmates are not prepared for the quiz. And here comes your teacher asking the class, may I ask, no, anybody from the class, what was my instruction last meeting? Do we have to continue blah blah blah, or because I forgot, no, what was really the specific instruction last meeting? If you struggle with the fact of telling the truth because you know personally that the instruction, no, of the teacher is to give a quiz on that day, or you are being caught in between, I will just stay quiet, no, and not remind the teacher for the quiz because I am looking after the welfare of many of my classmates who are not well prepared for the quiz. So if your sense of morality, looking at the perspective of what is right at the very context, if you look at the general welfare of your classmates not being prepared for the quiz, Therefore, it's about no bending the concept of what is right, telling the truth. You just stayed quiet, not not reminding the teacher of the instruction of having a quiz. Because again, no, you are looking at um, the exemption, no, of that rule, telling the truth because you are protecting the welfare of your classmates in the class. See, you may be here in the social contract theory. Social contract, I mean, moral stage of development. Then the highest morality principle is the last stage, which is the universal principle. According to Kohlberg, not all of us, even adults who already reached their peak of their career, it's not a given fact that a person can reach the highest level of morality, which is the universal principle. Because only a few can live out with this highest um, stage, no, of morality. Universal principle is that it takes account, no, the view of everyone affected by a moral decision, meaning you live out your principle of conscience, meaning you stand of what is right regardless, no, if you may hurt someone close to you. For example, white lies is under the social contract theory because you are protecting your loved ones, looking at their welfare. So you are ready to bend your belief of what is right because you are looking at not the welfare of someone close to you, but the universal principle, you really firmly stand of what is right, no, and be ready not to take the consequence of compromising relationships. For example, you have a brother, no, who might be committing a crime. So no matter how close your brother is to you, no matter how painful it is to you to surrender your brother to the authority, you will do it because you live by the principle of your conscience of doing what is right. And not all of us. No? According to Kohlberg, from time to time, we will be acting of what we considered right and wrong. Only we will be stagnated until only social contract theory. No, so there is a time that we might be in the obedience versus punishment. We might be acting out from the sub stage two, which is hedonism. We might be in the good boy, good girl, or in just the epitome of order. So therefore, in every action that we do, um, it is very important to reflect. No, based on my action, what moral stage does it reflect? Because as teachers, it is very important as well, no, to empower our students not to act just out of fear, no, or obedience, but of course to reason with conscience. So as you can see here, there are corresponding age group, no, to each of the stage, but it is not a guarantee that we do not step back or regress to the earlier stages of morality. It is not a given fact that we already reached 40. We are always in the um, post level of morality, post convention level of morality. There are times that we regress. And we regress, I mean, when we say regress, we can go back to the earlier stages, just like the post. the pre-conventional and the conventional stage. No, it depends on the situation and how we respond, no, to the situation where it calls a sense of doing what we think is right and wrong. Okay, so just to elaborate, when we say um, pre-convention morality, pre-conventional morality, I mean, um, it the concept of right and wrong is controlled externally. When we say externally, it is not within the individual's appreciation on the sense of what is right and wrong, but it is guided by external figures. These external figures refer to authority figures, parents, elders, teachers. Children at this stage in the pre-conventional level, no, determine what is right and wrong based on the physical consequences of their actions, whether they will be punished or they will be rewarded. So it is a typical early childhood, no, stage where moral understanding is self-centered and authority driven. So that's why it is evident for young children not to be manifesting the pre-conventional level of morality. But again, as I have said, even adults, we still have the tendency to do things just because we do not want to be punished. Or we do things just because we want to seek recognition and affirmation by external figures such as teachers, peers, or even no, parents or adults. Punishment and obedience orientation. Here, young children in the first substage, they obey simply to avoid punishment. So the very focus, no, is not on whether the action is morally right, but because it will result in a consequence. For example, a grade school pupil avoids cheating during a quiz not because honesty matters to them, but because they fear being caught and being scolded by the teacher. Similarly, a child refrains from hitting a classmate, no, because they might lose their recess time, or no, the very center of their reasoning, no, on obedience and avoiding negative outcomes is their basis and foundation in understanding, no, the value of honesty or respect. While in the substage 2, hedonism or rewards, no, the actions here are guided by self-interest. What's in it for me? Sa ato pang binisaya, unsay makuha na ko ana? Why should I do it? What advantage will I take from it? If you always have that um, perspective of doing things because you can get something out of it, like I'll scratch your back and scratch my back, no, as well, then that is actually you are stuck. You are stagnated with the sub stage 2 rewards or naive hedonism. Your actions are merely driven by your self interest. What's in it for me? No? Example, a student decides to help a classmate clean the room because the teacher promised an additional point. Or the teacher promised to have to give, I mean, no, candies or chocolate. Or a child agrees to share snacks because the student expect no to borrow crayons in return. So the sense of morality here in substage number 2 is transactional. Just like when we were younger, taga ko iskandibig, hatagan biya ti kagahapon. Gamay rag inkibaha, kay gamay ra ba yung gipaingkib nako gahapon. So those um, reasoning reflect na substage number two. It's very transactional. It's about exchanges of favor rather than guided no by empathy or fairness. So it's all about no give and take relationship for substage 2. Now proceeding to the level 2 conventional stage of morality, no? Here from early childhood progressing to school age, elementary, again ha, it's not definite that as we progress by age, our morality, our sense of morality also progressed. There are times that we get stagnated on a specific substage, then we progress. Then after years, we regress. And we regress, balik ta sa earlier stages, even up to the very first substage. So, pwede gyud, it's possible that an old age individual, ako, I'm already in my 39 years of existence. It's not a guarantee that I will be in the post-conventional stage of morality. There are times that my behavior, my action, still reflects of that in the first level, first substage of pre-conventional morality. So again, from time to time, we regress, we step backward, and step forward. So that's why a sense of reflection is very important. So in the conventional level of morality here, we begin as we mature, no? To internalize the very essence of moral standard. No? At this level, we gradually appreciate no the concept of right and wrong, but in here it is based on social approval. When you say social approval, any person no, surrounding us, it could be our peers, it could be the authority figures, um, we seek approval to them, their opinions on how we can fit in with the societal expectations. So substage 3, the good boy, good girl orientation. In here, your intention, there is already the intention. Morality is guided by social acceptance, conformity. We tend to do because it can please others. It will please others. And we earn approval, even if personally we don't like it. Example, a person behaves nicely to gain respect or love. Another example, a high school student studies diligently not just to get good grades, but also to make their parents proud. Or it could be a teacher chooses to volunteer in a school feeding program to be seen as kind and caring by colleagues. So the emphasis here is being seen as a good person rather than analyzing the deeper ethical implication. And substage 4 and still under conventional level, we have here law and order orientation. The very focus in this shift is the personal relationship, maintaining na a larger scale of social order. Example, rules, no? Laws and authority are seen as sacred because they preserve harmony and discipline. Now, example, as a working professional, I pay my tax. Of course, I don't have any choice because it will be automatically deducted to my salary because it is my duty, my responsibility. Or it could be a teacher strictly enforces the school's no cell phone policy, even if some students use phones for educational purposes. Because no rules are rules. In here, the moral reasoning gives emphasis to duty, authority, and respect no, for institution. For example, if the teacher will say, we need to follow it because it is what our school has mandated us to do. It is what the directive from the university president. We need to follow it, even if you don't like it. Then that is substage 4. It's all about giving so much importance of what is set as the policy, giving so much importance of the law, even if, for example, even if there is the scandal of corruption, no, even if you are already discouraged to take part of your obligation as a citizen of this country, but if you are in the stage 4, no, you still do it because you are grounded no with what has been mandated to us. We are grounded by laws, by policies, therefore no, you respect with what is being set no by a larger scale of authority. Then we have here the third level, post conventional morality, in which individuals basis of moral judgment is abstract principles already. There is already a sense of justice, a sense of equality and human rights. So few people consistently reason at this level. As I've said earlier, age is not a guarantee to progress at this level, especially in the highest level of morality, which is the last substage, the universal ethical principle. In the fifth substage, we have here the social contract orientation, in which people realize that laws are social contracts meant to promote the common good. However, they also understand that laws are not absolute. They can be changed if they no longer serve humanity. For example, an educator might support inclusive education policies that challenge traditional classroom norms. No? Another example, an individual joined peaceful protests to advocate for judgment or environmental protection, believing that laws must evolve alongside with the needs no, of humanity. Then we have here the highest ethical principle, universal ethical principle. This is the final stage of moral reasoning. It is grounded by internalized universal values such as justice, respect for human life, and equality. So in here, a person or an individual follows their conscience, even if it means facing punishment and disapproval. Even if you are being hated by many of your immediate circle, it could be friends or families. It will not matter to you because you follow based on your conscience and you leave out what is ideally right. Okay? Example here. Um, a teacher might speak out against corruption in the school system, even if it means compromising his or her benefits na, that the teacher might gain. The teacher is willing to compromise the favor that the higher authorities might provide because that teacher no leave out in expressing what he or she believes justice should serve, equality should be provided to all. Okay, so that compromise of approval within the school authorities, no, the teacher is willing to give up just for him or her to speak out, being blatant, being bold in expressing one's view of corruption, no, within the school system, even if even if it might cost, no, his or her position, because integrity matters more than personal gain. So if you don't have the courage enough, no, even me, no, I personally will say I am still not in this universal ethical principle because I do not have yet the courage to speak up, even if I know and I have noticed something is wrong, because for me I'm still, no, in the conformity stage of what is considered, no, as serving the welfare of the majority, or it could be what seems to be the social norms, no, what is socially acceptable in a specific context. So again, not all, no, have attained in the highest ethical principle, that is, um, being able to live out integrity as a value, honesty, and justice, even if it costs, no, one's personal gain. Example here, we have historical figures like Mother Teresa, no, Nelson Mandela. They exemplify, no, the stage. They acted out moral principles that transcends, no, laws or social norms, which is guided, no, with a deep sense of justice and compassion. So lastly, we look back, no, on the Heinz dilemma, no. Earlier we presented the possible responses, and now we look into those responses and try to reflect what specific substage of morality by Kohlberg, no, it somehow be implicated. So if the answer here is no, Heinz should not steal the drug because he will go to jail, that reflects stage one, obedience versus punishment. A person is afraid to do the act of stealing because of the punishment of going to jail. Now, does doing the right thing here only mean avoiding consequences? Okay, so if the very focus of one's action here is merely avoiding consequences, then it reflects, no, stage one. Then, if the possible answer here, yes, Heinz should steal the drug because his wife will reward him or he'll be happy. No, this corresponds to stage number two, naive hedonism. Again, hedonism reflects pleasure. So the focus here is self interest. What's in it for me if I will steal the drug? Picture a child sharing snacks only because they expect their friend to share the next time. No? The decision here or the action here is guided. No? Would your decision change if Heinz's wife was a stranger? Okay. Would you steal the drug given that the sick person is not someone closely related to you? If it is a stranger, would you be willing to steal the drug? Because most of the time, our action depends, no, on the extent of how we are being affected. If it's closely related, if the person who is sick is closely related to us, or this person mattered to us most, then therefore we have the extent of willingness, no, to bend what we consider right and wrong. So if your decision change of stealing the drug, even, no, give, no, providing the fact that the sick person is a stranger, adi na lang ko, di na ko kawaton, uy, kay di man din ako asawa, no, stranger raman di ay. So therefore, it reflects the concept of what's in it for me. Then third possible response, yes, because a good husband must care for his wife. This aligns with substage 3, good boy, good girl orientation. The action here is guided by what earns social approval. What is socially acceptable, no? As a husband, what is expected from you? Adhere to take care of the wife. Do we act morally to please others or because it's the right thing to do? The next, no, stealing is wrong because it breaks the law. If that's the reasoning behind the action, that reflects your duty as a person. No, it's all. No, are there situations where breaking the law could be morally acceptable? Okay, so then we have here, yes, because human life is more important than property or law. Then this reflects social contract orientation. We recognize the law, no, and that law should serve the greater good. When we say greater good, it serves the majority of the humanity, looking at the general welfare. But sometimes moral principles like justice and human rights can override them. So that's why here, should laws change when they no longer serve humanity? So that's a reflective question. Then we have here, Hines should act according to his conscience, even if it means facing punishment, because saving a life upholds the highest moral principle. So in here, the universal ethical principles na is based on justice, equality, and respect for human life. So would you still do what is right even when no one agrees or rewards you? Is the question there. That is, example, a teacher who defends a student against unfair treatment despite administrative pressures, no, acts on universal ethics. So therefore, it's a reminder for us teachers, no, to reflect from time to time. Are we progressing? Are we moving forward from self-interest to social approval or to principled reasoning? Okay, so I would like to end my presentation with this quotation from Aristotle, no? Educating the mind without teaching, without educating the heart is no education at all. So as future educators, we don't just teach lessons, we shape lives. It's not enough, no, to produce students who know the law, who know the laws of science or the rules of grammar. We must guide them to develop compassion, justice, and moral integrity. So my final question here, how can we as teachers help our students move from obeying rules to embracing values? It is something for us to reflect on, not just you as future educators, even also me as a teacher. It is always a constant reflections. No? It is always a constant reflection, I mean, on our actions. Are we progressing or are we regressing? Okay, so thank you everyone for listening. These are the very concepts of what Lawrence Kohlberg, telling us our reasoning behind our action. The reasoning behind our actions reflects a certain moral stage.